Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one today. So, just so everyone knows, DJ's out on a mission between somewhere and nowhere.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I hear noises, but your face is not moving.
All right, I'm getting out of here.
Okay. Bye.
Peace out. Well,
that's great.
Even better.
I can't even get out of here. This is how bad this is. It's forcing me to stay here. Welcome to Power Hour. Obviously, I'm on location here. Big news in Ysnville, where we have finally, after 3 years, cracked the code on the Keystone State, boys. We are here to do baseball game today for Mohawk and Freeport. I'm excited. You know, I was a graduate of Westminster. One of my college buddies is the head coach of Mohawk. Kind of greased the wheels for us to get in here today, and here we are. So no longer just a Buckeye State company. We're taking over the world one state at a time now, boys. So excited for this. Obviously, internet not so great at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see how we live stream and continue this. But I'm going to do the best I can. It's National 330 Day today. So March 30th, get it? 330. So my question is to you was, what's the most Youngstown thing that you've done today and why? EB, start us off.
Oh, man, most Youngstown thing that I've done today? Work my ass off. I mean, isn't that what we do? Grit City U, just grind it out all day long. Now it's been a busy day doing stuff with Ohio basketball and stuff at AAU. And really, that's about the only Youngstown thing that I've done so far is work. Nothing too extravagant there. I mean, I was looking up what the international days were, and I'm just super disappointed we couldn't talk about how it is National Turkey Neck Soup Day.
Ew.
Yeah, didn't sound good, but
turkey neck, that's the thing you pull out of the turkey that everybody thinks it's business, right?
Oh, for sure, man. Just throw it in some water, some salt, make a nice little broth. I'm sure I'd give it a whirl.
Ugh. Pass. Hard pass. Jeffy, how about you?
I'm the same with EB. I was just working all day today. So it's pretty much just work, come home, take a shower, come down here and work. So it's work all day long and all night. So always good to work.
What are you doing at night?
I'm calling South Range and Niles. It may be after the game.
Not tonight, at night.
Oh, I'm going to do the best thing for Youngstown. Definitely drink. Probably. 3-3 National 330 Day. No, because I'd be working at like 6 a.m. So I'm not trying not to be like hungover. But that usually does not help out. I know like a lot of people at the bar I'm going to go to.
Wow. All right. And Coach Seidel?
Oh, man, the most Youngstown thing I did today. Youngstown is kind of all about being just got back.
Didn't hear a word you said, and I'm not sure if it's because of Windy City over here or because you have AOL internet, whichever.
Hang on.
This is going well.
Yeah, it's going awesome.
It's going well. This is what happens when you enter Betos. Something is bound to go loose.
Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me.
Well, I asked you. I said, "You gonna get this?" He's like, "Oh yeah." Well, should we even start the show? Absolutely. And then it's been awesome ever since.
All right. Well, you can put that on me then. Put it on me. I don't know. I didn't remember I said that, but okay.
We got people tuning in. So, guys, let's talk. There goes Coach Seidel. It's bad when I've got better internet connection than he does in Bessemer. I'm like, look, we got buses backing up. This is unbelievable. Like, this is how we build brick by brick, literally making the bricks here on YSN. So, all right, let's talk about this real quick, guys. Baseball underway, softball underway, track and field season underway.
Do you want to take that, or
what is
I
the
don't,
best of the bad?
Something is underway.
we lost the second part of that question? Or, like, backfield's underway, softball's underway. What was the other part of that question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now no.
Spring sports is underway. This is a show, dude. We should never have started this. I'm just gonna put it out there. I should have never pushed the go live button. You guys beefed me into it. Baited me. Look, like, is that any better at all?
Next show.
Yeah, it's better now.
What would be a lot better is if you'd sit in your car
Okay.
so we didn't get the wind.
That's real windy.
And then if you have the MiFi, put it on top because it drops.
That doesn't work. I have a game to do at 4:15. You guys have to do this anyway. So
This is.
what are we supposed to do here? We're live. We're dancing live, guys.
Do you just want to know? I think someone just came in studio, and I'm not afraid at all that I think someone came in.
Well, Poe probably saw that DJ's gone and came to get all the food.
When they come back here, I'm just going to say, hey, what are you doing?
No.
I'm not afraid.
Dude, this is like this is like the Weather Channel's version, like Ysn's version of the Weather Channel
This is
with
the
Jim
worst show we've ever
Cantori.
had.
Go ahead. DJ, update us on the weather out there.
This is the worst show we've ever had by far. Out here, it's
perfect.
sunny. We got blue skies and
chemtrails.
baseball's flying everywhere. And 100%
Awesome. So,
chance
anyways,
of
wind. 100% chance of wind.
What's the wind blowing out there? About 50 knots, Brian. There he goes.
Jim Cantori.
It's going.
Dude, I don't know. I guess he was going down the path of like we got softball, baseball, track and field starting. You know, I would probably venture he was going to go down the path. You know, between those three sports, what's probably the one that you're most looking forward to? What team or athlete? Whether you know track and field, you can hit up a couple different things. I know I have a couple people I have my eye on. You know, softball, baseballs. So who are some guys, or at least you know, some teams that you kind of have your guys' eye on that you're looking for or what you're excited about so far this spring?
Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, so got a chance yesterday to go out to Louisville and do a little bit of baseball action with DJ. And after seeing that Leopards team, you know, they're a strong sophomore-led baseball team that I think is just going to get stronger as the season goes on. I have a couple of real nice pitchers, nice arms that are upperclassmen, that are going to get a chance to get in there and make some noise too. You know, just an impressive day over there at Louisville yesterday. You know, beautiful facility, turf infield, and you know, a big tournament. I think DJ mentioned to me we had like 4,000 viewers for that yesterday.
Dude, that's awesome. And that's fortunately so far, knock on wood, we've had the good weather for it too. So get some stuff in tomorrow and today. Tomorrow it's supposed to be iffy, and then we get to deal with the winter on Thursday. But Betos, I mean, you're getting a call game tonight. So what's some things you're looking for, or you know, some teams you have your eye out on?
I'm excited for like South Range because you get to kind of find out who they really are. You know, obviously Garen's a great player. You know, unfortunately with the bad injury, like Steve mentioned yesterday on the broadcast when we did Ursuline, it's just to see how they are. You know, see if those other guys can step up the other arms they got. Because they're always loaded with big arms and always have a ton of arms. But another team that I'm really excited and I hope I can do another game is Ursuline. You know, unfortunately, you know, Cheney had to play a buzzsaw on a team in Ursuline. And that Brady Shannon kid, I wanted to see him pitch because he threw one inning yesterday, and I was blown away. He throws hard, he has good off speed, has good velocity, and then he can bat. Like that Ursuline team's loaded with left-handed lineup, like left-handed bats, and that's always a struggle for right-handed pitching because right-handers always lefties are good against right-handed pitchers. Billy, but going to the comments here, Billy said Canfield baseball. Canfield's going to be really good if they can just ride the wave of they just got a ton of kids. I always feel like Canfield's always really good in baseball, though.
Yeah, like I don't know too much on the baseball side of things or really softball. That'd be all Hartwig. There's South Range is typically always a pretty good staple as far as softball around here. And Champion is cream of the crop. You're always going to have Poland in the mix. And the person on the softball side of things that I'm curious to see, especially because you didn't get a year last year. So I really want to see how these teams who didn't really get a season last year react or deal with that year off and come out and do some things. But I'm kind of anxious to see Tori Long from Columbiana. She's always been a pitcher who's made a name for herself, not only on the club side, but also school wise. And I think what really hurt her, losing out on last year, she would have had an opportunity to break quite a few school records, not only on the mound, but batting. So I want to see that part of adversity, that those juniors where they missed their junior year or their sophomores, kind of where they pick up. And honestly, getting away from the baseball and softball side of things, I'm really, really anxious to see some of these track athletes. It's easy for me to speak for the Salem side of things, but they have a freshman in Riley Hutton who I think it's just a matter. It's not if, it's going to be when she breaks a school record in a couple different events. Knock on wood, I hope she stays healthy because I think that's going to be someone who can make it down to state, which is great for our area. And then also Kyla Jamison. She hasn't thrown in 2 years, but she's going to Penn University on a track scholarship or for track, and she's picking it up this year. So, to take 2 years off, but still be considered one of the best around here, or at least on the collegiate level, and then pick it back up and start throwing again. I kind of want to see what she does. And then, you start to get into these other schools at Crestview, their 4x1 team and 4x2 teams on the boys side have always been pretty, favored and they always run well. And girls side, I think they have some other athletes that are just going to really fill in and really make this. We have a good handful of kids around here who can really make it to the regionals, if not beyond.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, the more and more as a football guy, the track becomes, kind of the secondary sport to football. I'm really excited to see some of these area football standouts, hit the track this spring and see what they can do. For us personally down in Sebring, second year of really having a track program, and they at the high school level now they've got 30 some kids out for track. That it's huge. It's a growing sport in our area that I think is just going to continue to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and what you said, the Seabrings have been around for 2 years. So what, 30 kids? That's like a third of your school.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not a knock at Sebring. That's just, look, numbers are what they are. And I think what you're starting to see now too, and I see it from the club side, but you see a lot of these kids play a club sport. They also do a school sport. And I know a couple of girls who are doing AAU basketball, track, and softball. So where they have time to sleep, I'm not exactly sure. But, as we've always said, this area is flooded with athletes. They just kind of get overlooked a little bit. But, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know what DJ had planned for today. So we're just kind of we're definitely going to wing it and we'll go from there.
We want.
Hey, EB, do you think that's why basketball got better and all these other sports are getting better about doing other club sports and stuff like that? Because playing better talent around just not playing local, or because local teams are good, but just not playing the kids from just playing Ohio or Pennsylvania. They're going playing kids from Kentucky, from Florida, from New York, bringing that stuff down. You think that helps out a lot more?
Well, yeah. I mean, anytime that you play against better competition, it's survival of the fittest. you either get better or you kind of get bitter and you kind of go along the wayside. It's just one of those things. Naturally, if you're playing against better competition, you're going to you have to figure things out quicker. And that's where I tell people that's the difference between AAU and school ball is, school ball, you get 6 months, if not longer, to work on stuff repetitively. Club sports, especially basketball, look, we get one practice a week, then you're getting thrown into the fire. You kind of see where you're at. And then you either have to adjust on the fly or you kind of die. And that's just, I think that's where kids, boys and girls around here, not only in basketball, but volleyball. And, there's no club for football, but you start to see them and track and work in these other sports that help them. Each sport really helps the next sport. And I think that's where you start to see, where we're starting to catch up on a lot of these other areas or regions. If you look at our region, so the Mahoning Valley, where in Columbiana County, Mahoning Valley, Mahoning County, Trumbull, we're not a suburb of Cleveland where we have community centers every which way or specialized, tailored to a sport, I guess you could say, I want to say warehouse, but facilities more or less that just lets you work on this since you're at a young age. Yeah, we have a community center, we have the YMCAs, and schools have done a great job of really infiltrating the youth programs across the boards for all sports to really help move things forward. But compared to, some of the places in Cleveland, where they just have the opportunity to do it all the time, we're really starting to catch up. And maybe it's, you don't see it, in the youth. We get our butts kicked, in the third, fourth, and fifth grade. But then generally you start to look at it. By the time we get to junior high and high school, a lot of our kids have started to catch up. So they all kind of go play hand in hand. And you look at the Springfields, you look at the South Ranges, the McDonald's, no matter what sport, they've made a pretty good name for themselves in this corner of Ohio.
No, you're right. And I think that list just goes on because you can add in there, Struthers and Poland and Crestview and it just becomes endless. And I think, now that we're branching out into Western Pennsylvania as well, we're going to start to hear stories about some kids over there that, maybe some people in the Valley haven't heard about or haven't had a chance to see. So the exposure to just more athletes across the board is going to be tremendous for us going forward.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like, you hear about the local girls. So you hear about the Danny Volatiches, you hear about the Molly Howards and the Jackie Grisdales and the Bo Brungards because it's local to us. And that's what I think is going to be awesome when we get into, PA. You always hear about the big names. You hear about the Magestros or, the Paris Gilmores up at Kennedy Catholic because they're good and they get a little bit more exposure. But now we get to dive in and do a little CSI work on our end for, these kids from Mohawk or Black Hawk or, whoever, Fairport, I couldn't tell you a person from Fairport, but, you're going to hear their name tonight when DJ calls that game. So it just gives them the opportunity to be seen and really help them. And then also obviously growing the brand, but it gives opportunity all across the board.
Hey, quick update here, guys. We got a couple of comments down in the comment section. Billy mentioned Canfield baseball. I think, Jeff, you touched on that. And then he mentioned that South Range softball won last night, 19-0 over Niles. I think South Range's softball program is going to be one to watch this season. David Smith chimes in and says something about Crestview girls volleyball. David, we're kind of sticking to the spring sports right now, but you're right. Crestview's going to have a heck of a volleyball team next year.
Yeah, I mean – Crestview's had a heck of a volleyball team since, I can remember in the 90s. I think Judy Gregory was her coach.
Back in the days.
Yeah, I mean, I was young buck. My dad coached football over there, and every morning, the coolest thing about that is, not only is it a good team, but it's a good program because they might have had a couple years that were subpar to their standards, and that's just nature of the beast in small schools. But I think what they've done, just as far as building a culture in general, that their expectations are now not just a league title, because it seems like any league that they jump into, they're in contention for the league title, but now it's district, regional, and hopefully they make that next jump over to the state realm.
Hey, so I've got a question for you guys, just kind of changing gears here a little bit, and we've kind of touched on it a little bit every week as the weekends kind of wrap up. I know we've got games tonight. How are your brackets?
No, dude, I haven't even checked it. Look, I watched the UConn Baylor girls game last night, and it was probably one of the best girls games or women's basketball games that I've seen. It's right up there with what could have been or should have been a national championship. And as far as the men's side of things, I've watched maybe like 2 games since we've honestly watched it down at HQ a couple weeks ago. If someone says their bracket's not trashed, I'm going to call them a fool, because I don't think anyone knows what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. Jeff, how's yours doing?
Not good. All 7 of mine are bad. I can't be. I'm not going to be honest with you. Every single bracket stinks. You'd have like Chicago. They, Sister Jean, praise to Jesus, calls her shot against Illinois. Like, we're going to make 50% of our layups. We're going to make 40% from 3. Okay, Sister Jean, we get it. You prayed to Jesus. You did it well. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Well, but I think
I'm not coming at Sister Jean at all, by the way.
Loyola was a pretty good team. They're a little bit more than just Sister Jean, but
yeah.
great figurehead of the fact that she's 102 and still alive is one probably a miracle by itself, and that she's still able to go to the games. And
the thing that blew me away the most was, like when they were posting up the prayers that she was offering before the games, man, she still had the statistics down to a T at 102 years old to be that sharp and know exactly, what the opponent's shooting from 3-point field goal range. That's incredible.
Here's your question, since we're on Sister Jean. So who is the best? Each location, like each school has their like go-to super fan. Who is the best super fan in the area? Like, or a person who's like staple to a program?
That's a good question.
I will definitely say for South Range would be Anthony Hartwig. That kid rides and dies with like every South Range sport. Like, I'm huge in football, but like baseball and softball, and with him with girls basketball and boys like basketball, he is a ride and die super fan. Like, he will cry if they win and cry if they lose, and like, just I give credit to him, but definitely the South Range super fan is him.
Who's Sebring have, Sadell? Anyone?
Yeah, so when I was growing up, there was a guy, and obviously back then we were basically a basketball factory, but there was a guy that sat right behind the scorer's table by the name of Johnny Rogers. And, I think he was in his late 80s when I was in high school, but hadn't missed a game since sometime in the early 50s, home game at least. And he would kind of travel for a while. I always think of the guys that used to call themselves the front row in Sebring. There were about a dozen of them that sat on the old bleachers there in Brook Gym and just kind of went nuts during every game. I've even started to see some from some of the other schools, and I apologize for not knowing some of the names, but you just pull up to some of these stadiums, or you're coaching on the sidelines and you hear the same guy every Friday night there.
I think definitely, and I'm going to read through some of Billy's comments here because why wouldn't he comment 90 times on the Power Hour instead of just hopping on because I'm working? He's on that Quinn works schedule where hey, if I look busy, then I can consider it work. It's I think Columbia has a couple. So we have, and everyone calls him Burger King Kenny Wilson, which very often you can see him walking the streets, and he might just be a staple to Columbiana, no matter what. You have Kenny Wilson. I'm gonna have to go free. That's Jeffrey Kemple. he's always, his family and him have always been kind of a part of, Columbiana tradition, especially basketball wise. And in fact, if you guys ever remember in the 90s, 2000s, or any school that actually lets it happen anymore, if they let you on the floor, he's a pivotal part of the half court shot. In fact, if he's doing a half court shot, you will hear the what everyone loves is a good old Clipper clap. And then also, he's like Columbiana's version of Sister Jean, and the gymnasium's named after him. I think he should have a say just about everything that happens sports wise, and he's probably coached just about every sports team possible through his life, and that's Richard Berryman. From golf, he's known for golf, but he's the only one to win a state championship in basketball here. In fact, I think he is the only one that has a state championship in basketball, which was, you're looking at 80 plus years ago in 1945, and from the Salem side, just from someone that I've gotten to know, you get a rich tradition of Cabas, and you've had some great girls teams, but George Spack. I mean, the dude probably should have a statue of him outside of the Cabas out there, but he helps with the boys basketball team, the girls basketball team. Another one who is like Sister Jean-esque, who just knows everyone respects. And he's a one that you need around like the sports programs, because he's just, he understands the kids. He still teaches there. He's affected so many kids' lives just on and off the court that, those are the people that that really keep like the community like what they are. And I know Lisbon has theirs, Palestine has theirs. I'm like you said, I apologize, I can't remember the names, but you grow up in these small communities. It's whenever that football season starts or that basketball season starts, these are the people that you kind of like look forward to going to see.
No, I agree completely. And, anybody that's out there watching, please drop into the comments who your school super fan is, because, I think those people don't get enough credit too, at the bigger levels, like you think of the Bone Lady for the Cleveland Browns, or Buckeye Guy, or Buckeye super fans. At the high school level, they don't really get that kind of recognition. And, day in, day out, they're there supporting the kids and propping up the programs, and really just, creating that atmosphere that I think we all love about high school sports.
Oh, yeah. And they're also, if you're a part of the opposing team, they're like that. If you're the opposing team walking in, you're always like, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
I hate that guy because he's always on things, or they always seem to be behind the bench. And no matter what, you can always pick them out. And, if you're an opposing coach or you're opposing player, you're just like, these guys don't ever give it up, man. Like they just can't, they like go over in the corner, go behind the home bench or whatever it is. It's no, you're right. They're every bit as important. But Betos, Billy says false. You are a Springfield super fan.
That's a false statement. I respect Springfield. Would not call myself a super fan at all. Not close.
Amo saying Pat Ross. And then let's see. We'll go through Billy's book here. There's a ton of great softball in the area this year. A ton of great ones right here on ysnlive.com. Also, for our baseball softball preview, check out Headed Home for all of your ysnlive.com. Thanks for the plug, Billy. Didn't know that we were on ysnlive.com. But now, we got the super fans. We're touching on March Madness. We're dwindling down on that. Weather's breaking. Betos, I want to know when you're going to go start hitting some piss missiles.
I want to try to hit some piss missiles on Saturday when it was really nice. Usually when I first start out, after I have not played for like about a year and a half now, I absolutely stink. There is no piss missiles. There's a bunch of rolls. I'm like a kid with a curveball that gets too fast, and I open up and it rolls all over the place. So I haven't really played yet, but I'm going to try to probably play in a couple weeks.
Where are you going?
Valley Country Club and Golf Course in Columbiana.
Oh, All right. Well, it's favorite golf course, Saito. I don't golf, so I'm just gonna roll with it.
This is a good topic because we've got a bunch of hidden gems in the valley here, and for me right now, probably top of my list is I love making the trip up to Canfield and playing Kensington. But if I'm not going to play Kensington, just kind of right around the corner from there, not too far, you can hit up Reserve Run Golf Course, and that is a beautiful track out there. A lot of awesome views built on an old stone quarry there. I actually was playing there one day, and one of those biplanes landed right on the pond there. It was really cool to see.
Guess it's better than an alligator coming out and stealing your ball, but
that's right.
No, see, I don't golf, so I kind of just sit there. We used to live in Myrtle Beach, had 98 golf course. Never did a thing. Putt favorite putt course. We don't really have any. We have Sports World. That's about it.
Yeah. It's the only one I know of.
We've got a couple over here in Alliance, and there have been a couple that have been in and out, but it's getting more and more rare to find putt courses in the area. I did want to mention, you can't talk about golf in the area without mentioning the Mill Creek course.
Yeah,
mention it away. I have, like I said, dude, golf courses.
That's a course where if you can't hit it straight or remotely straight, not you don't have to hit it dead straight, but if you can't hit it and know where it's going to go, you lose probably about 4 dozen of golf balls in that area because there's a bunch of woods. And usually, and it's not really like Mill Creek's fault, people kind of bash it because it gets wet. It's really, really wet sometimes, but it's not really Mill Creek's fault. They do a really good job. I know my dad played out there on last Tuesday or last Monday, actually, and he said it was beautiful. It was dry. It was perfect. It's a perfect golf course. But there's a golf course that's like outside of the area that people don't really know. I know I played Kent State's D1 golf course at Windmill Lakes up in Streetsboro. Actually, it was Twinsburg. And it was unbelievable. It's a tough course. It's not very long, but they have beautiful golf courses outside the area. And like Coach Heidel said, inside the area, there's a ton of beautiful, nice golf courses that, Flying Bee is really nice. It's remotely it's good price. Like, I know Kensington after 4:00, you pay $25. You can play unlimited holes. So if you do that in like the peak of summertime where it doesn't really get dark until like 9:00 or around that time, you can play 18 holes or play another 9 when you get a chance.
So just to jump on there with you, Jeff, these golf courses that we're talking about, I don't think that there's a better experience for a 19th hole than at Kensington to be able to sit outside there and kind of watch people coming in. Enjoy the bar, enjoy some of the food that they've got, kind of underrated on the restaurant side as well there. But I wanted to kind of plug here and mention, hey, if you're one of these golf courses that we're mentioning, we've got advertising opportunities available for you.
Look at Sidell, company man. Back to that though. So you mentioned food. Which is a place, which golf course, or I guess even if it's not directly affected with it, has the best food or restaurant?
What do you think, Jeff? Who's got the best hot dog at the turn?
Best hot dog at the turn. See, I went down the best food that I had at a turn, not the hot dog necessarily. Went down to Ogle Bay, down in West Virginia last year to play just play golf to get away. And they had these I didn't know this was a thing. They had fries and they put gravy on the fries and sour cream. So I got that at the turn. It was the best thing I've ever had.
Almost like poutine from up in Canada there.
Yeah. I thought it was going to make the fries soggy, but the fries were really, really good, and it was perfect. Because I partaked in a little bit of screwdrivers and stuff in the morning, so I probably needed something to
partaked.
Partaked a little bit.
Partaked.
No, I'm a big fan of, and it's one that Jeff mentioned, but the hot dog at the turn at Flying Bee is real good too. I enjoy going in there and kind of soaking up a couple of the swing fluid juices that we've had there in the morning when we hit the turn. Really honestly, I think anywhere is going to have a decent hot dog at the turn, but you got to know how to load it up right. You got to go with the diced onions and the ballpark mustard on top of it.
Exactly. Can't go wrong with that.
I mean, outside of the golfing part, I mean, restaurants, like Kensington Grill is good.
Yeah.
and that's right there. And then like you can't go wrong. And it's easy for me to say because I'm in Columbiana, but like Firestone, you have, you have Homestead, and then also you get a couple bars right there. And opening up this spring, which I think is going to be phenomenal, is Risers. Risers is I think it's old banquet hall, but before that, Firestone used to do brunches, like $25 all you can eat brunch on Sundays out there. And dude, I'm talking like it wasn't just like, hey, here's your like liquid scrambled eggs, and we threw some Oscar Mayer bacon in the microwave, whatnot. Like, dude, you were getting stuffed French toast. You were getting like fresh sliced like potatoes, and they would sit there and kind of do not only the brunch, but it hit you up with a little lunch, dude. That was probably one of the better places that I've eaten for breakfast, just for like a brunch style.
I don't know why, but am I alone in thinking that Betos is definitely a brunch guy?
Oh, I had to retire from doing brunches. There used to be Cafe 422 on South Avenue where the old Tommy's place used to be, until he had to leave town for tax evasion. Know that. So they used to do from 12 to 3, and like $10 on the endless mimosas, like Pellinis and Bloody Marys, and I used to do that constantly. So the one time my mom's birthday showed up, we went there for brunch on a Sunday and ran them out of champagne and orange juice and Bloody Mary mix. And they literally now charge you like 10 cents for a refill of everything.
Is that why you stopped going to brunch with Billy?
Yeah, no. Okay, whoa. Billy canceled me on the last time. But it was unbelievable. Like, brunch was the cool thing. Brunch was nice. Like, I went to a place up in Cleveland for brunch, and it was excellent. So brunch was a cool thing. Now I had to retire because I would just fall asleep.
Just a quick catch up on the comments here, guys. Amo jumped in and said Trumbull County Country Club, which I've actually played that course. That is a beautiful course out there. And then, a gem that's right here in my backyard, Alliance Country Club, probably one of the most underrated courses in the area that is just phenomenal. Private course, a little tougher to get on. I don't have AMO money, but I'm looking forward to the day when maybe he calls me up and invites me to go with him. And then James jumping in, talking about playing over at Mill Creek for the first time 40 years ago, shooting a 46 on 9. James, it sounds like maybe you might be the better golfer out of the three of us here.
That's false.
No,
I'm pretty good. I think my best round I shot last year was at actually an Arnold Palmer style course. It was like, I think I shot 37, shot 2 over par. There, it was pretty good, and it was a good course. What's up, boys? We have Quinn and Billy entering in. Billy, golf courses. What golf course is the best you guys played?
Lake Club. That's the only one to go through.
Okay. Well, we don't have your money, but then we get it, Billy.
Jesus. Hey, why don't you guys catch us up on what you're out doing?
We are currently at Hammond Park in Wellsville. We're waiting on the head coach to get here to interview and complete, at least work towards completing our Headed Home series, previewing on YSN.
How many schools so far?
What do we have? We have 81 done, something like that.
84 or 5 done of them.
Yeah,
I think we're missing just a few here and there.
We'll wrap it up Friday on the series, and then be focusing on just doing games from here on out, and then our show that we're going to do eventually. At some point.
Like you guys need to make a trip over into Western PA now. Are you going to have Mohawk on there for us?
Well, we had no idea about Mohawk until today, so that was breaking news from DJ. So we'll see what we can do. How about that?
No, that's awesome, and I think you guys are doing a tremendous job with that entire series. It's been really cool to kind of get an early season glimpse of what's going on in the valley here with baseball and softball.
Yeah, we double dipped last night. We did we went to Niles and we caught a game. We actually broadcasted that game, Niles and South Range, and saw a veteran team versus a very young freshman-oriented team in Niles. Kind of rough outing for them, but it was a learning experience of what the bar needs to be, and that is South Range. At least in the Valley, they have a special group of players. They're going to go a long way this year, and they're going to compete for a district championship.
Yeah, outside of that, I mean, we'll touch base on what we started the show with, just because you guys have talked to all these guys, or most of them, I should say, and you've seen a little bit more than I have, but and you commented, but like, what are some teams you're looking for towards seeing some players, softball, baseball, maybe some of those teams that are kind of the dark horse for the year that, hey, there's really no standard because we lost last year. So you can't base anything off of last year. And Billy, you kind of know some of these players a lot more than the rest of us, just because of what you do with Max and seeing people down at Scene. So who are some players, teams, girls, boys that you're looking forward to, and kind of maybe that dark horse?
Who do you think the dark horse team is going to be this year?
Talk about that. I'll think of a dark horse.
I don't know if they're a dark horse, but maybe in some respect, I would say Columbiana softball is going to be a dark horse this year. They're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. A lot of upperclassmen, a lot of good travel ball girls there. They have great pitching. I think they're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. And on the boys' side, there's a ton of talent, and it's spread out across, really across our YSN nation. Obviously, Canfield's the cream of the crop, in my opinion. They have a lot of college guys on that team. They have their 4-man rotations deep. They got 2 top-end D1 arms that are going to pitch for them. And then they got the guys that are coming in are going to be potential Division I or Division II college arms. So they have a 4-man rotation like nobody else around here. And then Columbia or Salem has 2 arms that's going to cause problems for teams. But if I had to pick a dark horse, I would say Western Reserve is my dark horse for baseball. They have 11 seniors that on their team this year, and that's something that nobody in this area has. And with the not playing a year, having last year off, having seniors is important, especially early in the year where you're basically getting thrown to the fire in league games. And depending on who you're playing, if it's top heavy early for your league games, you're going to be in trouble. Western Reserve has 11 seniors, and that's going to go a long way for them.
Right on, definitely. A little more informative than that news. So, Quinn, I guess, what's your take on everything? And
yeah, I mean, there's some good pitching out there. I think Liberty has some pretty good pitching, baseball-wise. A dark horse, I mean, it's a dark horse, I guess, to us being kind of up northern from them, but Edison baseball and softball both. I think both of them are going to be really, really good and can make a really good run at something very special this year. I mean, just going down there talking to them, I mean, both coaches, they've got, over 300 wins, basically. Yeah. I know Spencer Bendel, the softball coach, is nearing 400. I think he might be able to get that this year. But Edison, I got to go with Edison.
Yeah, those were probably one of our favorite interviews in the Headed Home series. Those 2 coaches were great. They told us all kinds of information that we were looking for, plus some, and we're really, both of us together are going to try to go out and just do as many Edison baseball, softball games as we can, because we had such a great time with those guys out there.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, Edison is one of those things, like, I don't forget Edison because I have a girl from Edison, so I think about it on a basketball standpoint, but I think, like, from everything else, like, sometimes, I don't want to say they get swept under the rug, but like you said, and I don't want to say underappreciated, but sometimes just a little forgotten. Just to touch base on everything else, favorite golf course with the best food?
Probably Lake Club.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Lake Club. I mean, listen, I've never been to a golf course till last year where you literally have a golf cart that is so, like, next level tech. You push a button and they just bring you beer. They bring you whatever kind of food you want, and there comes a girl on a cart just and they have great food in their place too. They have a restaurant inside, so To me, it's got to be the Lake Club. I mean, maybe I would say another one that's pretty good. Just kind of go off of the Lake Club is Riverview out in Braceville. It's Newton Falls, Warren area. So that's a pretty good one too. They got a pretty good golf course. I know a lot of people who really enjoy that place, and they're fantastic owners over there too.
Kensington's not bad.
Kensington's
not bad. They got some pretty good food too. The Kensington Bar and Grill's pretty good too. So,
dude, as I have beverages to drink, I'm pretty good. Whatever food comes my way, I'll just whatever.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. The way you two are sitting right now, arm behind Quinn, I'm waiting. You guys might as well hit up the drive-in movie.
Kiss there for a second. Go ahead.
Look, who's a lady, who's a tramp? Because this is what it's talking about.
So I could just like kind of do one of these, and like he's gone. You know.
Although you didn't have me back on there, I swore. Let me go.
Respect my authority.
Hey guys, I just got a text message here, and it said, "Don't forget that the Louisville Leopards softball team is still technically the reigning state champion."
They are, yes.
Yeah, just talked to them yesterday. That one's going to be going up, I think, tomorrow. So,
Kate coming at you. Bill is showing Quinn more affection than he's ever shown me.
She's a lot.
It's okay.
I mean, I don't know. I've stopped out with him out, out at a restaurant before, or bar or whatever it was, and other than Kate, go give me a beer, please. Go give me a beer. One more. Kate, come on, one more.
Hey guys, before we get to our G. Burbick Farms, what's your filet, what's your beef? I just wanted to get everybody's take real quick on the NFL officially announcing the 17-game season.
Ooh. Money. Did you see what the TV deal was?
I didn't.
ESPN, it was like a couple weeks ago. ESPN added another $1 billion to their offer. So it was 1 billion. They offer for 2 billion. And then I think it's roughly about 4 billion. Don't.
What in the hell? Did you just mute him? You don't know what that was talking about.
It's okay.
I hope
you guys the dry erase board and do the math for us on that one.
I hope you guys get a flat tire.
The 1 billion, the 2 billion, and the carry the 1 and the points, and then screw it.
It's all right. The Lions are going to go in 17, be the first team to ever do that, so it's all right. Jared Goff.
I mean, I think this is something they've wanted to do for a while. They've been talking about expanding the season. Originally, I think it was 18 games they really wanted. And with COVID last year, missing out on some extra funds with no fans, this is inevitable.
So are they keeping all the preseason games, or are they cutting those?
They're cutting back to 3 preseason games. So you'll still have that first one that's garbage time, and the second one that they maybe come out and play a quarter, and technically that third one will become the dress rehearsal game now.
All right.
Basically, on the 4th game anyway, it was a bunch of nobodies we never heard of before, unless you're Browns fans. That's when you get to see all your draft picks play, and then.
Dude, so all I hear with this one is, and tell me if I'm wrong, but eventually all this is going to lead to is a strike, because the Players Association or Players Union is going to sit here.
They just signed the CBA a couple. It was last year before the season, so it's another 10 years, and they just added the 17th game. And I know a lot of the veterans didn't like it because it takes a lot for those people just to get up and play, all the court, all the shots and all the treatment that they get and all these things that they go. Adding another game is tough enough. Is what they didn't like.
So you're just going to see a bunch of dudes retiring by age 30 instead of, you're not going to see a London Fletcher play from the time that he's 20 to the time that he's 38 and never miss a game. You're going to get a lot of these running backs that are going to be I'm done after the age of 28.
Well, the running back's lifespan is not very long in the NFL.
Right.
It's 4 or 5 years, isn't it?
Well, they're prime, yeah, but you still get those ones the ones who sit there and, well, I can be a third down back and play another 5 years, and they'll drag it out to 33, 34. But now I think you're just going to see a lot of people who are a Robert Smith, where they're after the age 26, 27, hey, I made 15, 20 mil. I'm just going to be done.
I think I also think teams are going to do a better job of drafting 2 running backs to expand that too. Like you're going to have that kind of like we do in Cleveland. We have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I mean, that's kind of the the a high standard of having those 2 kind of guys. But I think you're going to see more and more 2 running backs to expand that out, though, Jeff.
Am I alone in thinking that this is probably where we're going to see the league decide that they're going to expand rosters, and we might see an expansion from 52 to 56 or 60 on a game day roster?
No, I could see it. I could see that. I mean, you're going to need maybe even 60, honestly, because I think college does 60, don't they? 60 is the travel roster.
I think that's correct. It's been a long time since I did college football.
So you expand the roster
years ago. You should know that answer. Weren't you a coach? Didn't you give up like touchdowns?
So yeah, maybe I gotta fix that too. Let's just do that. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, that works.
But
Yeah, so
I could see that
expansion. I think they'll almost have to. You're going to see guys with injuries and things, just popping up throughout the season.
So not only that, like, will they expand the practice squad? What would they have on practice squad? Wasn't it like 15? Like, so go from 15 to 25? Because, dude, by like week 12, look at some of those guys. Like, some of those teams are just trashed with injuries, and sometimes it's just a year. It's whatever, however your luck goes, but you're gonna have to do something if you're gonna add those extra games. Over a course of 2-3 years, dude, that beating takes its toll on the body.
It definitely does.
All right, there's our awkward silence. That's awesome.
There we go.
Let's go to our G. Burbick Farms. What's your beef then?
Right on. Let's do it. Beef or filet? Betos. What'd it be?
Filet. Just getting to call a baseball game last night. Two good two games at Ysn Park. Field 1 was pretty cool. Never thought I would be able to do that. So it was pretty cool doing that. That's my filet.
Perfecto. Coach Seidel, beef, filet. What you got?
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I'm going to go with the filet today too, and mine was I had a chance to call my first baseball game last night. Got to sit alongside the Prez there. DJ and I went down to Louisville. Again, just tremendous facilities down there, and big shout out to just the people that were there. Coming up to us, telling us what an awesome job YSN does, how excited they are to be part of the family here at YSN.
Right on, dude. I'll do my filet so that way Quinn can wrap us up with Billy and whatnot. As I said, it's going to be a filet, but since it's come out for both sides, we don't have the boys yet for All Ohio, but I'm going to go All Ohio for the girls. Fortunately, not only myself, but Quinn has gotten to coach a couple of these girls, but on the D2 side, being able to coach Kyla Jamison, who got special mention, coach against Jackie Grisdale, who got first team. And Division 3, Division 4, Zara Cunningham, we had Grace Whitmer, Molly Howard got first team Division 4, Danny Vulatich was right in there, Izzy Lamparty, just at the town in general, I thought this area represented well, and that's not even mentioning, the girls from Marlington, and I believe it was Pigeon from West Branch. So just in this area alone, little 3-county, 4-county region, that I feel and a lot of us feel get overlooked a lot. I thought we represented well on the state level for All Ohio, not only just what they did individually, but teams. So with that being said, that's my filet. Congratulations to all those who did get the All Ohio mentions or accolades, as well as any other accolades.
You got a beef or filet?
You first.
Well, do you have a beef or filet?
Go ahead.
What do you have?
I got both, so go ahead.
Well, I'm cutting this up. We're going beef here. Quinn knows this inside story, but I just have my beef is with people not trying to do too much. You're trying to insert yourself into things that maybe you have no business doing or being a part of. So sometimes everybody just needs to know their role and do their job. Simple.
Is that it?
That's as far as I can go.
That's how you're gonna leave that. All right, mine's gonna be a fillet. I'm gonna give it to you three. You guys did a great job today. Honestly, doing well, battling some of the stuff we got to watch a little of it earlier, and internet and all that stuff. I mean, you guys did a great job. Bailey doing a great job being the host. Jeff keeping it kind of wrapped up nicely today for once. And Coach just having a fun time as always. I got to give it to you guys. You did good.
You said you had both. You said you had one.
I did. I have both. You took the beef. I'm leaving it there. I'll let you have the beef.
Moo.
It's fun to partake.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm thinking we're probably going to be back tomorrow with a little bit more well-structured show, right?
Are we going to be on tomorrow? Yeah, I think we'll be. I think we'll be on tomorrow.
So. I don't know.
You never know, man. Headed home takes us to different places.
I'll tell you what, though. I give Bailey credit. It's tough hosting this thing. It really is.
Oh, look, dude, I just started talking. The rest is whatever. It would have been better if Betos did it. I had to go down the hole with piss missiles, though. So
I haven't hit one of those.
You just kept repeating it like it was on repeat in the CD player.
It's okay. Jeff's golf game is terrible until about summertime when it gets good. So
Yeah, because I actually get to play.
he gets to take his shoes off. I mean,
he gets to play barefoot out there, towing up all the greens.
Well, we better get out of here to Scene. We're going to Scene Park, so
Time to go.
make sure you go on YSN live games. Check out all the games tonight. There's a couple good ones. LeBray and Ursuline are playing out there. Canfield Mooney. Never thought you'd hear those two schools play each other, and here they are tonight. So check that one out there. And I think there's a couple more.
yeah, and don't forget our debut. What is over in PA? DJ's got the call, so I think that one what happens in about 13 minutes. So new school. DJ on the call. Check it out. YSN live games is what it's all under. So we'll go from there, and Quinn will get us out of here. Peace out, people.
Yeah.